Hello, everybody. I am back. I am so sorry for my long delay. It's been a good over a month since I last posted a video, and my apologies. The month of October was insane. Did get a few things accomplished, but half the month was spent in 2 weeks of intensive courses for the program that I'm in, and so that really knocked out a good chunk of my month and just mentally still trying to recuperate from that. So my goal for October was to read it, and not quite there. I'm about halfway done right now and enjoying that. But I did want to go back and just do a quick update as to what I did get accomplished in the first 2 weeks of October, and then kind of a partial accomplishment here over the past week. So I know it's technically November, but I'll just do it now, get all of the stuff out of the way at once. So before I do anything else, I want to just show you really quick a find I had at a local thrift store for $3. So I don't know if this is going to speak to everybody, but I got this beautiful edition, a 2-novel edition of Doctor Who stories, this nice shiny blue cover. We got the silver edge pages, bookmark, just even some of the interior, just beautiful. So 2 novels in here, The Silent Stars Go by Dan Abnett, and Touched by an Angel by Jonathan Morris. So pick this up for $3. It's in pristine condition, absolutely beautiful. Probably one of the favorite looking books that I own. So looking forward to getting to those at some point. I don't know where these are going to fall on the TBR, but I have them now, and so whenever. But eventually they will make the TBR. Now, shifting gears slightly, if you've watched some of my videos, you may know that I'm a big fan of Dune and went to see the movie in theaters. And if you haven't gone yet, go now, please. Do yourself this favor and go watch that movie now. Just chef's kiss, stunning movie. I'm glad I went to see it in the theaters and not just on HBO Max, but even in the theater, the screen just wasn't big enough to take in the beauty of this film, and just nicely tying in with the book and trying to be faithful to the book so much better than the early 80s film that was done. Can't wait for part 2, but absolutely stunning movie. Not just the story, but just the visuals in this movie are breathtaking. Highly recommend it. So a little bit of book-ish type update there. So what did I accomplish this past month? Let me start with this one that I DNF'd just over the weekend. Got it from the library, was thinking about buying it, and I'm glad I didn't. I had no intent on reading the series, but I watched the first episode of the Netflix show and really enjoyed it. And so I stopped watching, went to the book, and that is Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah, Bardugo. I know I'm a little above the range of YA fiction, but really enjoyed the first episode of the TV series and thought I'd give it a shot. I made it to about page 154. Again, it really grabbed me at the beginning. Loved the feel of it. I love the fantasy element in this kind of Russian type setting. Beautiful setting. But after kind of an opening major event, it just screeched to a halt. And we have this, it reminded me a lot of some of the sections of the Hunger Games where this young girl, kind of poor, is now whisked away to the capital city, and she's overwhelmed by everything, and she's given this makeover, and she's trying to adjust to. So, yeah, I'm gonna go back to the TV series. The book just wasn't cutting it for me, so this is going back to the library tomorrow. I don't see myself reading any of the other books. I'll stick with the TV series on this one. Probably the only time ever, I think I may say that. But yeah, just wasn't quite for me. I think the show was kind of weaving some other plots in rather quickly that this one at page 150 hadn't even hinted at yet. So yeah, just not for me. I know it's a hugely popular series, but just wasn't landing for me after that initial kind of big event. And if you've read the book, you know the big event there at the beginning of book one. But I did finish two books, either very end of September or early October. And let me fire up one of them I have on Kindle. Let me fire that up real quick and show it to you. This was a gem. It's the second book I've read by this author, and I've got to be honest, based on this, I'm going to find anything else he has. And that is, oh, sure, now it's not going to come up. Okay, we're going to have to take my word for it. It is A Head Full of Ghosts by Paul Tremblay. If you have read any of his stuff before, this is only the second book of his I've read. The other one was Cabin at the End of the World, I think it was called. That is a book where you aren't entirely sure for the duration of the story what exactly is happening. And Head Full of Ghosts does that, but it kicks it up a notch. The basic premise of Head Full of Ghosts, which adored this book. It was fantastic, and I'm seeing others who are reading it and raving about it as well. The premise of the book is it follows a young girl, 8, 10, somewhere in there, I don't quite remember. Her older sister appears to be possessed by a demon. But we get these flashbacks to when she was a little girl, to now as an adult, doing an interview with an author who's going to write the story of what happened. Because as her older sister is dealing with this possession, in the middle of it, it begins to make news, and there's kind of a paranormal TV series that follows live action everything they're encountering as they try to help the older daughter who appears to be possessed. So you jump back and forth in time. Thrown in there, you have a blogger who is writing about the TV series and all of the hints as to why it was staged, why nothing supernatural was going on at all. And so all of that together, and even the accounts that the girl gives of her older sister repeatedly says, I'm making this all up. I'm just, this is all an act. All of that woven together, and you've got some incredibly creepy scenes woven in there with the older sister, and you're not quite sure. Is she possessed? Is she not possessed? I don't know. And Paul Tremblay weaves it together beautifully, and he leads you to the end to resolve everything-ish, and it is a fun ride from beginning to end. This was, the more I think about this book, the more I'm loving it, because the way he told it, the way you're just left uncertain as to what's actually happening, what's true, what's not, and the level of creepiness with some of the scenes with the older daughter who you're led to believe is possessed. Won't say if she is or not, but obviously that's kind of the thread that you're being drawn with. Outstanding. Fun book. So if you've read any of his stuff, if you read Cabin at the End of the World, that was really good, but this is so much better. Such a fun book to read. Not sure where I'm going to rank it in my top books of the year yet, but it's going to be up there. We'll wait to the end of the year to find out. So, that being said, leads me to the other book that I finished, and that is part 1 of Stephen King's The Dark Tower series, The Gunslinger. And I enjoyed this book. If it was obviously it couldn't be a standalone because there's a whole series, but if it was a standalone, it really would have fallen flat, but it really sets the groundwork for the world, what's happening here, the gunslinger's quest to find the Dark Man, to stop him, and the difficult choices he has to make along the way. some of the gut-wrenching decisions he makes along the way because he is focused on his mission of stopping the Dark Man. And I can't wait to get to the second book, which hopefully I'll be getting to either toward the end of this month or sometime before the end of the year. So very much enjoyed that. And obviously, if you've watched my videos, you're like, okay, shocker, shocker. He loved a Stephen King book. Yeah. Now, I am, because it's a series, I'm reserving the right to backtrack. I've heard some split feelings about how the series progresses and how it ends. So book 1, it's got me hooked. So I'm ready for book 2. Also, by the end of the year, I would love to get into book 2 of the Wheel of Time series, which I am looking forward to the premiere of the Amazon show on the 19th. So we're getting very close to that. So that's kind of the hodgepodge of October. It feels like not a lot, but it wasn't as productive reading-wise as I would have preferred because of the 2 weeks of classes. And now I've got a pile of papers to write here by the end of the month. And then I'm going to get slammed with the syllabus for classes in January. So who knows what my reading future holds between now and the end of the year, but I will certainly do my best. Definitely continuing on with it, again, about halfway through. And can't wait to talk more about that. So that's what I've been up to over the past several weeks. If you're new here, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you're coming back to watch again, I especially thank you for putting up with another video. Share it with your friends. Invite somebody else over. And if you have read Gunslinger or the Dark Tower series, let me know down below what you thought of it. If you have read Paul Tremblay, especially Head Full of Ghosts, I would definitely love to get your feedback down below on that. Let's be careful with spoilers for those who haven't read it yet. And Shadow and Bone, maybe you can still convince me to press through that middle section of the first book. I don't have to take it back to the library just yet. I've got a few more days, so maybe you can convince me to pause it another couple days and hammer out the end of it. It's tough for me to DNF things, but I'm kind of at that point. If it's not bringing me joy, I'm going to set it down. But if you say, man, just hang in there, as you get to the end of that book, it really picks back up. I'd love to know that because I hate DNFing books and I'd rather finish it, just not feeling the motivation to it. So if you can help me, great. I'd appreciate it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you back here very soon. Have a great day.